generations like Scott was preaching. Brother Isham was preaching earlier. We need that lineage. We need that heritage. When they had in the old days, when they had those revivals for weeks and weeks, it didn't burn out in them, but we get tired when someone preaches to half an hour.
Right.
We need to stand up. We need to endure. We need to go. We need to have that fire, that passion that we have. That we need to have. We need to come on. We need to come through that. We need to carry on. Amen. Two great words that were preached. We need to be one of them. We need to be one of them, called out, so they can recognize who we are. We need to let the world hear us. We need to be there so they can see us. And I'm going to be preaching on our calling. We need that calling to be set forth. I'll be in Acts chapter 9, verse 15. And it says, "But the Lord said unto him," talking about Paul, "Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles and the kings and the children of Israel. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake." How many knows God's got a calling for all of us? Every one of us has got a calling to fulfill in God's kingdom. See, when I was younger, I never thought I would be up here. Just like Brother Garrett preached, I never thought I'd be up here. I never thought I'd be up here. I saw my grandfathers do it. I saw my dad do it. I said, I can never get up there. I cannot talk in front of people. But I'm telling you, God put something inside me. I'm talking about, I was at youth camp when I was 9, and junior camp. I was praying down at the altar, and I heard God say, "You are going to carry the word for me at 9 years old." I heard it, and I was like, I'm going to preach the word. And then I went through, and I carried on the calling, and I feel God's calling in my life. And I know God has got a calling for each one in here. Amen. Things that I know I had to get over, and I know people that I've talked to have had to get over, and that's go past. We have all done things in our past that we are not proud of and that we do not want to claim. But I'm telling you, your past, after you meet Jesus, does not affect your future. Jesus erases your past. Your past is gone. I don't care where you used to be. You used to be on the side of the gutter. You used to be high every other day. You used to be on the drugs, on the drinking. You used to see all those dirty things. But I'm telling you, once God comes into your life, once you get that power of Jesus in your life, I'm telling you, you're not the same. You got God inside of you. You're sanctified, called out. You got the power of Jesus in your life. I'm telling you, God can use you. Amen. Yeah. Yes, Paul, one of the greatest missionaries this world has ever seen. He was going, earlier in this chapter, he says he was breathing out threatenings. He was literally in the middle of calling out Christians and putting them in jail when God stopped him on the road to Damascus. And he said, "Paul, why do you kick against the pricks?" And God said, "I have got a mission for you." God saved his life. He would kill Christians. He put them in jail. But yet, God changed his life. His past did not affect his future. He went on to save hundreds, maybe even thousands to God, because he did not let his past affect his future. John 4 talks about the Samaritan woman. Jesus went to the well, and he saw that Samaritan woman, and they said, "We don't belong," because he asked her where her husband was. She's like, "I don't have a husband." He knew that she had had many husbands and wasn't living with her husband now. But I'm telling you, God said, "Go your way and worship me in spirit and in truth." He didn't say you can't go because you haven't lived right before. He said, "You're saved now. Go and worship me." It didn't matter what she did. God said, "I want you to worship me. I don't care where you used to live. I don't care what you used to do. I don't care what your father did. I don't care what your grandpa did. It's time to worship me in spirit and in truth." Yeah. Spirit and in truth. Not in fake worship. I don't want to get you to jump around and go jump around to that worldly music. You can't groove to Jesus and groove to the world at the same time. You gotta groove in the Word of God, sanctified and called out. Amen. Right now, I believe God has got a calling for each one of us in here.
Amen.
We may not know, we may not think we can't possibly have a calling. We may think we're too young. God told Jeremiah, "I knew you before you were even born, before you were in the womb. I called you out." And Jeremiah said, "How can I speak? I'm just a child." God said, "No, it doesn't matter that you're a child. I have called you. You're going to preach my word. You're going to take it out. I don't care how young you are. I don't care how small you think you are. God can use everyone." Moses, God God told Moses, said, go to Pharaoh, release my people. Tell him I said to release my people. He made up excuse after excuse. I can't speak. I'm not good with talking. I can't talk in front of people. I'm not the right guy. God said, Moses, you are a guy. I don't care what you've done. I don't care what your abilities are. I will use you. See, a lot of times you think, well, he does it better than me. I ain't not as good as him or her. I can't sing. I can't preach like him. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what abilities you have. If God said do it, God will give you those abilities. If God says go and sing, you sing. No one's out. If God says come on and preach, you preach the fire that God has. If God calls you to stay at home and witness, I said witness to every person that you see that God needs to spread. We need to spread the message of Jesus. I don't want to see one person go to hell because I didn't talk to him. I don't want to see one person go down to that fire and brimstone because I didn't talk to him. I want to see every person that I talk to follow me right up through those pearly gates. Amen. 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 The first time I'd ever heard the voice of God, it was before I was even called to preach. I was about 7 or 6 years old. I was sitting in my Papa and Nanny's house, Cornelius, Brother Cornelius, sitting in their house. And everyone else was outside. I was sitting by myself watching TV. And I just heard my name. I just heard someone say, Garrett.
Amen.
And I looked up and looked through the house and no one was in the house. And I didn't know what it was. And then I didn't think anything about it. But now that I look back, it was God saying, Garrett. He's saying, come on. He wanted me to get my attention. A couple years later, I came back to camp, knelt down right there, right by that pillar. I remember the same spot I was. It changed my life. God said, you will preach the gospel. And ever since, I've been like, God, I am going to preach your gospel. So don't think you're too young to hear from God. I was about 7 or 8 when I heard the voice of God call my name. And I know that he will do the same for you because he has no respecter of persons. Yes, God is worth, as I start to close, God is worth your life.
Yes, he is.
If you think about what Isaiah said, our works are like dirty rags. It's like dirty rags compared to what God is. God is white. He's clean, but we have sinned and sinned. But yet we think we're higher than God. Yet we think God doesn't deserve our life. We think we should use our talents for the devil. A lot of times we like to say for the world, but the devil controls the world, so we're using our talents for the devil if we're not using them for God, right? We need to step up and use them for God. God is worth our life. He saved us. Think about it. He saved us from an eternity of absolute darkness, burning forever, maggots eating at your skin, never knowing the presence of God again. He saved you from that. And He brought you into where you can be in glorious light and live with Him forever. I'm telling you, God is worthy of our life. Each one of us has a calling. If you want to be one of them, if you want to be noticed and seen, if you want to be there and you want people to hear you and see you and know that you are one of them, can everyone stand in this building? If you young people want to know that you are called out and that you are one of them, and you really want to know what you're supposed to do. I'm not talking about what other people tell you. People can come up and tell you all day long you're called to preach, but if God hasn't called you, it's not going to work. People can tell you all day long you can do this and you can do that, but it's what God wants you to do. It's what you want to do. So I ask, if you're in here and you say, I want that calling, I want to be one of them, come to this altar. If you would say, I want to be stuck out, I want to be different, I want to be a peculiar person, and I want to be one of them, I pray you come to this altar and we will pray and we will find your calling.